Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Well, live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny San Diego, California, we bring you one more edition of a Tuesday version of the Big Biz Show. Mike Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, Greg Todoroff, and the DTQ. Just the DTC, but I didn't get that right. Howie Font, of course, starting our show every day from New York City. Howard is our, well, I don't know, he's a chief stylist for. He makes me and Mike feel bad about our hair. Not Greg though. Greg's got great hair.
Greg has great hair. Not like that though.
Yeah, no,
look at that. That's a Chicago Bears helmet.
Greg, you're a role model of mine in the hair department. Come on now.
It's coal black. Name higher, buddy.
Me and Costa barely hang on to the water wagon. What's going on in the markets today? What are you talking about? What other? You made us feel so bad last week about $500 million a day.
Yeah.
For 6,000 years equals what the government spends from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
It is. What do you got for us?
Well, I'd like to point out another thing that central banks are doing, if that's all right.
Yes.
Central banks, we are seeing a run-up in gold that is kind of unprecedented. Usually you see gold prices spike when you have a big recession, the 2000, 08.
Because folks think that gold is a hedge against inflation. What's interesting too, but how remember last week when we had a horrible inflation number and the S&P went to a record, gold also rallied. I was talking to David Garofalo last week, our gold sort of guy from GROY, is that a stock symbol?
Yep.
Gold royalty company. And I was saying, you know what? Investors are fleeing to everything to sort of hedge their bets against inflation. It's not just the S&P, it's not just stocks, it's not just real estate, it's gold as well, because there was a little bit of poo-poo going on about if gold is really a hedge against inflation. Well, it turns out it is. So talk about the gold markets for a bit.
Yeah. I think it's also to do with control and, central bank-backed currencies. People don't want their money to be able to be turned off. So you saw a really big spike in central banks buying gold when the sanctions on Russia for Ukraine came in, because China and other central banks were saying, wow, I don't know if I want my money to be able to be turned off by the Fed. That's not great. So you're seeing a lot of transactions happening in that regard. And then, inflation, which is based on our spending. The dollar's worth less, gold's worth more.
But what's interesting about, there's a thing called inflation or recession. Inflation-proof businesses, laundromats, liquor stores, small personal loans. No, that's what the Sopranos did. But you have laundromats and liquor stores, of course, not liquor stores. Liquor stores and bars are recession-proof. Optometry offices, okay, dentist offices are recession-proof. Have you seen how many people start betting money during this time? I predict, and we have a guest coming up for just a second, Adam Wexler with PrizePicks. I predict to you that there's going to be a boom if this inflation is as sticky as it seems to be, because this inflation was supposed to be waning the last quarter of last year, that you're going to see the amount of betting that goes on, and not to mention drinking. Not that the two have anything in common. I'm just saying those recession-proof businesses are going to be ever present. Don't you think, Howie?
That's tried and true. That's a pretty safe bet. I agree, unfortunately.
I think. Did he just say that's a pretty good bet? Did he just say that's a pretty good bet?
Happen this year.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said that's a pretty good bet. It's a funny thing because you're talking about betting. I'm learning.
You're gone. Come on. Muted. Bye. Keep talking. I do want to talk about our next. So thank you, Howie. I appreciate it. You'll see Howie again tomorrow. Howard Font. Do we have a tagline for you, Devin and Howie, like some we can refer people to, like the Howie and Devin go to hell or on a handbasket? What's it called? Slowmovingtrainwreck.org.
We should call him this century's Duke and Duke.
Duke and Duke. What was your band name yesterday you talked about?
June Has Needs.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Rugby Got Her Pregnant.
Rugby Got Her Pregnant too.
Big good stuff. We're going to talk to our good friend Adam Wexler from PrizePicks coming up. Stand by.
to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
At the Loft 100 studios in sunny Southern California. Hope you guys are having a great day as we kind of rebound from the big Memorial Day weekend.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Haven't you rebounded by now? Are you, I see you're still wearing your Land's End picnic picnic table.
We had a lot of picnic shirts.
The greatest shirt ever made.
No. Do you know what the greatest one was? Mike, I did Morning Radio with him. He has pants like that.
I do.
Remember the patch? Oh, the patch.
Wait, it's a whole outfit?
No, it's not a whole outfit. That's a takeoff on the patch pants they used to have from Land's End or Ducks and Company, one of the two.
Right.
It was a preppy thing.
They're called Madras.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Madre.
God.
Feliz Navidad, Madre.
So have you ever worn them together where the bottom's in the top?
Have you ever seen Mike and Dave need wedding? Have you ever seen Mike and Dave need wedding dates?
Oh yeah.
They have. You know what Ren Spooner is? You know those
yes.
Hawaiian
shirts.
You could dress your whole family in the same thing.
Yes.
I forget his name. It's not. It's the good one is Zach Efron. What's the other one? The really funny kid. The guy was. He was in.
Jonah Hill?
No, he was in. He was in.
Pitch
I'm pointing at you
Perfect
because it's Glee. Or no, Pitch Perfect.
Glee.
What's his name? The guy who played Thumper in Glee.
Oh, I cannot.
Adam,
Yes.
whatever.
Got Adam.
Adam Levine, so funny.
Yes.
Yes.
He walks out in a Ren Spooner short sleeve with a belt, top bottom matching.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's-
Mikey, I think we got to do that.
All right, I'll wear 'em. What the heck? Yeah.
Getting down for real. He walks in slow motion. Getting down for real. With the outfit on.
With a pair of white bucks.
What
Yeah.
movie is this?
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Fantastic movie.
Okay.
Back to Howie Font. If you're just joining us here, we were talking about the market, and we're talking about that we lament our weekends if we don't get our stuff done early. I want to talk to you about what you just said, because you said, shouldn't we get out and take profits? And by the way, you're very right to say so. There's two philosophies, though, as I just mentioned. If you look at the chart of the stock market during the Great Recession, when all hope was lost, we're at 4,000, we're losing all our money, and now we're at 36,000 or whatever. If you look at that, gee, that was a bargain back then. Well, isn't it a bargain now if that's what happens in stock markets? Howie, I'll let you take that one from me.
Oh, in the long term, yes. In the long term, you're exactly right. But you, more than maybe anyone I know the Elliott wave principle and how the market dynamics, affect medium, short-term pricing. And that's just why we're seeing the market downturn today. I think everything's great. The market's going to be double what it is in 7 years, in all likelihood.
Well, and I think what you're talking about fairly is day traders. And day trading, and I will tell you this, I seem like I'm a day trader, and I do day trade, but it represents less than 0.5% of my total wealth in terms of what I day trade. So in other words, if you want to day trade, hey, what should I buy? Well, buy off all of your debt first, so you have no credit card debt, okay? Then after that, pay off all of your student loans first. Make sure that we have a mortgage, you're not renting, and make sure that your car payment is indeed for a car that's getting you to and from work. And then you can invest. And when you're going to talk about investing, I would argue that you're not going to day trade. You're going to invest in something that either you believe in and you're going to stay in long term, because even though Apple has been down over the course of its lifetime, or Starbucks has been down, or Micron, or U.S. Steel, still a pretty good company, regardless what that share price is, right? They're not going anywhere.
No.
So if you bought it, if the reasons you bought it in 2000 are still there, why wouldn't you just hold on to it? Now, there is a thrill of getting on the ride, meme stocks and such. Do a paper trade for 6 months and see how you do. Go on a spreadsheet and say, okay, I'm going to buy 100 shares of this stock, and do something you can afford. I mean, I'm not suggesting, if your limit's $10,000, and say I'm going to buy $1,000 of this stock and these 10 stocks, and see how you do, and trade them here and there. See how you do in 6 months. If you are now at $20,000 in 6 months, and I would say dip your toe into the day trading market. Otherwise, leave it for us suckers here that continue to get bitten, like me and Howie. By the way, Elliott wave principle, very simple. What Howie was talking about is what we now call technical analysis. And the easiest way to explain it is, I forget Elliott's first name, but he came up with the notion back in the 1920s that you can almost predict what's going to happen based on crowds and their reactions to certain events, okay? So the way I explain it, the stock market is, well, further to that, we all want what we can't have, right? The minute something is scarce, we automatically need that. Okay, look at a couple brands I can name. Supreme, for one. Supreme would make a T-shirt, and they only made 100 of them. Suddenly, everyone had to have that 100, okay? In stocks, it works like this. Let's say you buy a stock at $100, okay? And let's say you hang on to that stock, and that stock dips down to 80. Oh, my God. Desperation. Capitulation. What am I going to do? I can't sell now. All of a sudden, there's a gleam of light. The sun's rising. Good news on the horizon. Oh my God, this might be okay. Hold on. Buy Apple. No, stay in it. Suddenly I'm the smartest guy in the room. So if you 100 down to 80 and it hits 100, I'm out.
Yep.
I just dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Right? Most people, if they have 100 and go down to 80, what are they trying to do? Like Mark Twain said, I'm looking for a return of my investment, not on my investment. Right?
Yeah.
That's how the elevator wave principle works. I can predict in a certain...
Duke and
I told you to buy.
Right. What they're buying, then sell.
The long story short of it is, if you can withhold the emotions of the market, and the only way to do that is have a money manager. And I don't care, you don't need to be wealthy to have a money manager. You can open an account at E-Trade or Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or even Robinhood, and they will invest for you. That's how you wrangle the emotion of the markets. Howard, you have one last notion on this as you're continuing calling me as a bit part of the show?
Gotcha.
I loved the performance art, and every day with you, Sully, is like 4:43 on Sunday.
Thank you.
Right. God.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure that's okay.
No.
Howie, are you one of those people that gets everything done on Friday? I know you personally. I know the answer to this, but do you get everything done on Friday so you have to worry about it on Sunday?
There's always more. It comes at all times. It doesn't stop. So I just do it as it comes.
Yeah. I cannot stand having anything over my head, so I'm done on Thursday night. I'll do a couple calls Friday morning.
Best feeling
That's
on
it,
earth, man.
And Greg's heard me say this, so yeah, I'm out. Don't bother me. I'm out. I'm gone. And he does the same thing. He goes, yeah, nah, I gotta go.
No.
Because not answering ain't enough. I don't want a text. And by the way, don't ever send me a text telling me you send me an email. I will kill you. That's a felony.
Yeah.
Hey, I just sent you an email. Just texting you, and I'm just calling you to tell you, hey, I just sent you the text to tell you I sent you an email.
What about let's do lunch?
Yeah, I don't care. Let's do lunch is fine, but do not send me a text to tell me that you sent me an email because you just sent me an email.
I thought you were a never luncher.
I'm a never luncher. I'm never meeting is what I am. Oh, I do plenty of lunches starting on Friday.
Okay.
I might be guilty of that.
Yeah, I know you are. Just sent you
I have actually stopped myself from doing that.
Well, you just sent me an email. Why
Because
didn't
I don't
you
know how
announce?
long. Look, I know that you specifically.
Texting you. Gonna call you now. What the hell?
Because it's forewarning, and people are not on their email.
Wait, I would argue, Howie, call me again.
There's no cold calling.
Howard, call me again. Okay, I would argue that the phone ringing is the forewarning that you've got a call coming in.
Who likes to be cold called?
Hence the bell.
Nobody likes to be cold called anymore.
Well,
right?
Okay, so you know
But sometimes you gotta.
How about this?
You gotta.
How about this?
If you don't have
Mary,
to.
I don't have to. No. Swipe left. Isn't it interesting that to turn the phone off, you swipe right?
Exactly.
But
Swipe left.
They should have you swipe left to deny a phone
right.
call, don't you think? They got that messed up.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yes, I don't need a warning that. But yeah, I don't know how we got around that rabbit, but.
It was fun though.
Greg.
Anyone under the age of 30 doesn't call anymore.
Greg, who lives a life of leisure, by the way. Greg, who lives a life of leisure, doesn't have a schedule. He's like, no, he and I get more done between 4:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. via communication.
The best time.
And then we have a call like around 8 or 9 every morning.
Roughly.
Then we see, and we don't actually talk for the rest of the day.
There's no need to.
No,
cover everything, get it out of the way, move on.
That's what
he's got his stuff to do. I got my stuff to do.
Mary, in the meantime, is creating Google Docs and stuff that she's going to create a Google Doc about.
Yeah.
Things I need to make Google Docs about in a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, are you a
That is
small
true.
talk master though?
What do you mean?
Like if you're at a cocktail party or whatever, just sitting there just doing
No, you know me.
I know.
I'm the king of efficiency. It's like, okay, got it. What's crystal clear? What's
exactly? Yeah.
Like, if you're just listen, you waste 10 minutes of my time a day. That's 61 hours a year. 61 hours a year. That's a week and a half of work week.
Yep.
That's part of a vacation.
Yeah.
If you put it in those perspectives, I told my kids the other day, you're only gonna see your parent. You're gonna see your grandparents like 6 more times. I mean, when you start putting the ridiculous number on things, it like 10 minutes a day, 61 hours a year.
You want to hear? Okay.
If you that means that there's going to be times you got to call your credit card company.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
There's 10 minutes right there.
Oh my God.
Okay?
At least.
Yeah, you do 10 minutes
TV.
watching this TV show.
Yeah.
Boom.
Gone.
Yeah, gone. But if you waste 10 minutes per day, that's 61 hours a year.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know how long I had to do a contest for a
10
radio
minutes.
station? Close.
What?
The actual playing time of the Super Bowl when the Rams beat the Titans on the last
The
second
actual
play.
plays?
The actual physical play
was 10 minutes?
is about 13 and a
Oh
half
my God,
minutes.
that's crazy.
No.
13 and a half minutes of physical play is what it takes to play a Super Bowl.
Thank you, Howie. See you next time. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about gold and how you are unprepared for your weekend. See you in a minute. Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer@salientgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
Big Biz Show rolling off from the Loft 100 Studios in Southern California. To all the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, where you are watching and listening, we are in over 175 countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. Thank you for what you do for us. Costa, Marybert Godwin, Greg Todoroff, our executive producer. Sully, hey.
Good to see you today. A little volatility in the market. Market's down for the first time in 4 days. Market works this way because different investors have different time horizons that they want to invest in. Some are day traders. They've got, you can have day traders that look at moving averages that are what a stock's going to do within the last 20 seconds versus a long moving average, which is 2 minutes. I look at a 50-day moving average and a 200-day moving average. But there are micro traders that will day trade like a bazillion times electronically within a minute. Long story short. So like I say, stay away from the damn day trading, please. If you want to day trade, do a paper trade, open up an Excel spreadsheet, and fake it for 6 months. Act like you have $10,000 to invest. Invest in how many companies you can invest in $10,000 and see how you do in 6 months.
Ooh,
and if you set it and forget it and don't day trade, then just set it and forget it anyway. Don't worry about day trading, right? So last of all, did we determine that you are a person that gets it all done on Friday before the weekend? Because I think it's so critical.
I do, and this is not financially speaking, but I make sure that all of my yard work and chores and stuff is in the bag by Friday at about 4 o'clock.
Do you know what I used to do as a kid? Just reminded me. So I was an only child, and my parents were, and I surfed, I played, I was going somewhere.
Sure.
And my parents made sure that I wasn't going to get in trouble. So they loaded me up. Why do you think I get up at 4:30 now? Mm-hmm. I'd get up at 5 before they were up. It's like, I'm going to the beach.
See ya.
Wait, nope. I got it all checked it out.
That's right.
Done and dusted. Done and
Did
dusted.
you have a little checklist on the wall that
Yeah, I also had a little notebook at 8 years old that said "Stop worrying," and
Right.
I will tell you this tragic thing. Which I had those little notebooks, the little spiral notebooks. I had one of those things.
Yeah.
And I looked and I found it in one of those little cigar boxes where your Boy Scout stuff is.
Oh yeah.
And on the first page it said date, allowance, expense, balance.
That's awesome.
I kept my own books at age 8.
Yep.
Wow.
Not because I wanted to, because I had an evil, evil mother.
This is such a crucial answer.
It is not good. No, this is why I'm effed up. You don't do that to an 8-year-old. You don't, you little checkbox.
Did I earn mommy's love this week? Shaq.
Basically.
Thanks, Mike. One more day, I would have been over it.
Bobby, your coat hangers?
Bobby, mommy drinks because you cry. That's the name of my new book. David Garofalo is the chairman and CEO of Gold Royalty Corp. He is our resident gold expert, and we are so happy that he's been so generous with his time. He is on the NYSE American Exchange under the stock symbol GROY. Here he is once again to talk all things gold, all things market. Boy, every time I look at the news, David, not only is it bode well for your company because you're doing such great things, but if I just take the top-down look at gold as it relates to how the market's trading, could you ever get a buy sign on gold than you have right now, considering the volatility of the stock market and inflation and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors that are feeding into this bull run for gold. But I think fundamentally it comes down to interest rates, which when you factor in the real rate of inflation is deeply into negative territory. If you're owning treasuries, your savings are getting depleted day in, day out by inflation. It's getting eaten away because inflation isn't 3 or 4%, it's 15 to 20% when you consider all the things that we need, the necessities of life. So gold is preserving value in a fraught equity market and a fraught money market right now, and it's really preserving purchasing power, if you will.
David, is gold always going to be the it? Will silver ever overtake it? Copper, aluminum? I don't know. Is it always going to be gold?
No, look, I think silver has great fundamentals as well. It has incredible industrial applications in solar panels and the like. So when we're looking at a decarbonizing economy, it's going to do well fundamentally. But it's also trading as a proxy for gold. And typically, the gold price to silver price ratio in a bull market is as low as 40 to 1. Today, it's closer to 80 to 1. So that means that as gold goes through a prolonged bull run here in the next little while, silver has a potential to outperform it by twofold as we see that ratio narrow. When you look at the rest of the metals complex, the one I'm most bullish about is copper. I think copper fundamentals are incredible. When you look at the battery metals out there, that's the one that's most intensively used in electrification of our grids, in electrification of our vehicle fleets. The amount of copper used in an electrical vehicle is 3 times what it's used in an internal combustion engine. So there's going to be a massive amount of demand, and there's this incredible supply squeeze on copper, and I think copper is at least a double or triple from here.
It is crazy how good my catalytic converter theft ring is doing because of copper.
Hey, David, I got to say, you being the finance company or the royal financial institution, as a royalty company, you're a financial institution for the mining industry, and you're sort of at the top of the line there. But from what you're saying, though, I've heard the adage that if you have a gold mine, you also have a copper mine, or if you have a gold mine, you also have it because of the tailings and everything else. That's got to still bode well for you, regardless of the top-down economic numbers. Talk about the company itself, because you've got a ton of potential growth, as we're talking about on this graphic that's from your website. Talk about that, because it all goes into one pile here, and this all bodes well for you guys anyway.
Yeah, our revenue is doubling this year at a minimum. Actually, we just made an acquisition of a major copper stream this week that will actually enhance our revenue growth beyond the 100% we previously guided. We're just going through the number compilation right now, and we'll re-guide our revenue guidance going forward, but it's going to be a positive development in the short term because it's a very prolific copper mine in Bosnia that we acquired a copper stream on with an 18-year reserve life. And so we're looking at 60% compounded annual growth in our revenue through the end of the decade.
Wow.
That'll only be further enhanced by this copper stream acquisition.
I want to see Mike in the back of one of them dump trucks with a hard hat on. A pair of Daisy Dukes pointing people around with a clipboard. David Garofalo. David, a little short on time. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, pal. David Garofalo. His stock symbol is GROY.
Why am I in Daisy Dukes?
I'm looking at the shirt right now. I can't, you roll that up and tie it like this.
Carhartt does not make those. I've checked.
More Big Biz back in a minute. After these words. Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
Are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyentgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
It is the Big Biz Show. It's inside the Loft 100 Studios in sunny Southern California. Hope everyone's having a great day. Costa, Maryburg Godwin, Greg Todorov. What? Noli, are you,
No, my appearance today has less to do with me sleeping in my car last night and more to do with the fact that we had a water main break at the house because we had this 3 eucalyptus trees growing out of one.
Oh.
And just grew through the pipe. And then we saw this little trickle going through the driveway. They broke up the driveway to see what it was. And this beautiful eucalyptus tree roots was going right through the thing. We had to take the eucalyptus tree down. But we've had no water for a day and a half. We'll have water tonight. So it's Casual Wednesday.
Gotcha. Yeah, nice.
So yeah. Well, my face grows like a party favor. I'm slicker than snot on a wet doorknob. I got no hair in my ass at all. I mean, I can go down a slide.
Hey.
Hey, now.
But my face grows like a party favor. It's like, I can't wait to see when I'm Hugh Beaumont's age, when I got nose hairs going out and I got the Andy Rooney thing going on. But for right now, I'm hanging on to the water wagon. It's just like.
Every time I get a haircut now, when the stylist says.
Their favorite thing is.
Yes.
I talked to my hair person yesterday, or day before yesterday. I said, is this your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Eyebrows.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
To do your eyebrows?
Yeah.
Hey, they always say that.
Would it satisfy you to be able to cut Mike's eyebrows? Like it's sort of a, because you know what? Let me tell you why. Because it's that.
Yep.
It's not just like it's like.
They're that thick, huh?
Yeah. It's like,
well, she said.
They don't look too bad.
You're
right?
kind of. She called them. You're starting to get those old man eyebrows.
Oh.
And then as she's there, she goes, "Oh, hold on." And she starts doing the ear hair too.
Oh.
And you're like, "It's over."
Yeah. When you got more hair going through your ears and your head.
Now. Oh yeah, exactly.
Hey, Lou Bender is back with us. I've bragged about this man on the air when he's not on the air, and I've talked about this company, Intensity Therapeutics, a number of times. INTS, they're publicly traded on NASDAQ, INTS. Lou is the CEO of Intensity Therapeutics, and Intensity Therapeutics is a pretty remarkable company, a late-stage phase 3 clinical trial biotech company focusing on treating cancer patients using a new chemistry. And they talked about it a couple of times here, but they're killing tumors and they're activating a systemic immune response, and as a result of that, they're making some headway here. Lou, thanks so much for being so generous with your time once again to talk through. You always have such a great response with our audience. We thought we'd bring you back over and over again. How are you, sir?
Sully, it's great to be back. Thank you very much. I know it's not nose hair or any other kind of hair. kind of a discussion, but it will be different. It's now for something completely different, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing, Lou. See, and because of Mike's response to his own nose hair and his eyebrow, now Lou will be researching other categories to stop the rampant growth of your eyebrows in years to come.
On board.
Hey, seriously though, talk about the cancer topic, because you said something to me the first time we were talking that kind of stuck with me. You said cancer comes from our healthy cells that have mutated. Talk about that and what you guys are doing about that.
Well, I'm about to head out to the big annual American Society of Clinical Oncologists meeting in Chicago. 40,000 attendees are at this conference. And we're going to talk a lot about the newest technologies in cancer. But, cancer is basically challenging because it does come from your own cancers, your own DNA, how it's been mutated by whatever triggers, whatever that you've been exposed to, whether it's ultraviolet light from the sun or some chemical in the environment. Everything is very personalized with cancer. It's your DNA mutated by whatever was in your environment and what you were exposed to. And what we have is a technology that can take your cancer and convert it into a set of effectively an immunating vaccine. And we've gotten great results, and we've kept people alive, and we're about to start the last stages of development, a phase 3 big study in a very deadly cancer known as sarcoma. And we are excited about the opportunity to treat patients that have really very little options, and whatever options they have are very toxic. And our drug seems to be have a much more favorable safety profile.
Hey,
So
Lou,
it's
talk
an
about
exciting time for the company.
Well, Lou, talk about the INT 230-6. That is the exciting time. That's the reason. So it's called INT 236. Talk about that drug, and what exactly does it do?
So as we talked about last time, that is a very uncatchy name, and we are in the process of coming up with a brand name for INT 230-6. But it is a very unique product in that it contains 2 potent killing agents, 2 of the best known chemotherapeutics that are normally given into the veins. We are going to treat and kill the tumors with this formulation because it's got a special delivery chemical in it that makes things soluble in fat and water. And for the first time, this is why we have patents, we have formulated a product that when you inject it into the tumor, you can kill the entire tumor. Wow. Not small ones, not just large ones or small ones or mediums. All sizes of tumors can be killed with this new product, which means if you've got bulky disease, we can kill the tumors and stimulate a global immune activation over your whole body. This is a new weapon.
Yeah.
There is nothing similar in the market now that can do what we believe our drug does. And we are excited to prove that it will keep people alive longer. And we will do those studies over the next couple of years. And I think it'll be a game changer if that study does work. So that's what we have, a product that can kill tumors, stay in the tumor, and keep the patient feeling much better than they would be if you're poisoning the whole body.
Grateful to spend some time with Lou Bender. He is the CEO of Intensity Therapeutics, stock symbol INTS.
Yeah, Lou, gosh, I'm so impressed with what you're doing. And this weekend will be 23 years since I lost my dad to cancer, and I have somebody battling it right now. So I am, just really hopeful for everything that's being done to treat cancer. And can you tell me how soon your products could potentially be in the market and can start getting out there and helping people?
Yeah, because you're working hard to start 2 phase 3s right now, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of work in starting a phase 3. As I said last time on the phone call, the phase 3 is like playing in the NBA. Everything else, phase 1, phase 2, that's like playing in high school basketball. The FDA, the regulators, the manufacturing requirements are so much more intense very intense. This is why the company's name is Intensity. When you get to the late stage, you really have to be very close to commercialization. I'm hoping that we can get data in the next couple of years, 18 to 24 months, in both breast cancer, local treatment of breast cancer, and metastatic sarcoma. And since our drug uses a physical diffusion process, we've seen results in many, many other cancers like pancreatic. And to your point, I get probably 10 emails from friends or family or even strangers every week that tell me about somebody that wants to be in our studies and get our drug because they've run out of options.
Well,
and I am passionate about trying to get this drug to the market as fast as we can, because the unmet medical need for better treatments that are safer and can keep people alive and feeling good are desperately needed. I'm about to head off to this conference. I don't anticipate a lot of big news or breakthrough news out of it. I'm hoping there is, but really there is such a medical need. So many people dying of cancer, not just think your friends and your father and friends. I've had family members die. I've had best friends from college die. I've had people that I know and have had their family die. And we've got to do better than what we do today. We just don't do enough. And what we do is poisoning people. And there's got to be a better way. And I think we have it.
His name is Lou Bender. Lou, we will be out at ASCO. Take a look. Howie will be there with us. We'll have a camera crew there. We're going to hunt you down and get some interviews. So the next time you're on there, we can see Lou in action. Lou Bender's his name, CEO, Intensity Therapeutics, INTS. You'll see him more on the show coming up. Thanks, Lou. Appreciate it. All right. There you go. I think that does it for us today for a Wednesday. Or as Mike likes to call it, Madras nights.
Time to hit the beach club.
It's easy to grin when your ship comes in. I can't forget him, baby. No, you don't sound like Elephant Man. Sound like Michael McDonald. I can't forget him, baby. Not her.
Big Biz Show. Little musical trivia for you.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Did you put Pancake on?
Did I? Of course. Mrs. Partridge.
Yeah, Shirley Jones.
Yeah.
She was opposite of me in My Fair Lady.
She was in Music Man,
She
too.
played Lori in Oklahoma, opposite of
Robert
Russ.
Were you a musical theater major?
No.
Gordon McRae.
What's your favorite
like
musical, Shep?
theater. What's that?
What's your
My
favorite musical?
Wicked.
Oh, good one.
Something has changed with it. I cry like I'm watching a Hallmark commercial. If I watch Wicked like 8 times. I mean,
That one makes you cry?
Oh my goodness. I'm like.
The one song that
like
she sings
Wicked,
before I knew
called Gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because I knew you.
Because I knew you.
Oh, forget it.
Right?
Yep.
Forget about it.
I mean, it's seriously. So, Shep, my question for you is this: do you think that we would all have been better off not having musical theater in guys that, like, Mike was third baseman, all CIF for Thunder Road High School.
Okay.
And Mike
I'll just tell you that I went to an all-boys school and we had musical theater. How weird is that?
That's weird, yeah. Thanks.
You could have done Book of Mormon.
I was going to say, did you?
Hi, it's Shep, Shakespeare in Love, Hyken. Mike, so listen, Shep Hyken, of course, is the Chief Amazement Officer, and he is also the author of several books. One of my favorite guys, he and I met 2017 when a friend of mine says, I want you to learn about the keynote speaking business. And I thought to myself, this guy's going to teach me how to do a keynote speech. They taught me what the business was like. And what you learned was, even you, Mike, could make it. And just here's your message. If you want to be positive, think positive. Thank you. 25 grand for Mike.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all it is.
But honestly, Shep, you took a career and takeaways for big companies and turned it into keynotes. And by the way, he's booked across the country to talk about
across the world.
Okay, my bad. Okay, mister. But he really is one of my favorite people. Can I ask you something? Is customer service, because I believe, I mean, I've done this a million times. You see a good line in a movie? You know? You're my true north. I think that happens in business. Like, I've said a couple of things, like that Jack Nicholson said, to customer service people. I think entertainment plays a role in how we react to each other in life. I think that we steal crap. And the point is, I think our expectations, who would have the expectation in the last 20 years that customer service would be consistent, Shep? Don't you think we get it from entertainment? Because I ain't getting it from real life.
What, do you think entertainment is consistent? I mean, you see one show.
Ours certainly isn't, but no, it's true. But I'm saying, though, look.
Present company excluded.
Well, my point is this. There's an expectation, as you have taught me, that there is a seamless customer service experience, which you also gave me, okay? Where they're from the front door of the Albertsons to the cashier to the, by the way, do you put your cart back?
I try to.
If I knew nothing else about you, if you don't put your cart back,
yeah,
you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
But the point is, Shep, I'm thinking to myself, it was after our last conversation, I can't remember the last time. And can you imagine you have a 20-year-old, okay, living in this world who's been in part of the economy for the last 10 years?
I've got one.
Has he ever seen what it looks like to have a valet pull up or have a Nordstrom experience from 1985?
Oh,
right?
There's nothing like that.
Or Eve Arden.
Does not exist.
Or Eve Arden, Red Door, right? Was that called Eve Arden? I mean, so Shep, how do we change that paradigm?
Well, I know you love the example of pulling up for the valet and they open your door and study your watch.
I'm like this.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, because in my mind, again, you have the CEOs of the company, the people on top, that think things are going a certain way, and they're not going that way. My point, though, is it's got to be part of the fabric again. And how do we do that? Is that just pride? Is that just, pay them more?
Yeah, well, you know what? The easiest thing, you talk about the CEO, something like 80% of CEOs think they deliver great service, and then you go out and ask the customer, it's like only 35% say yes. So there's a big change. So you know what we tell CEOs? Go shop your own company, like mystery shop. Call at a busy time, and don't tell them it's you. Don't have a number they can identify, and act like a regular customer. See how long you have to wait, how many times you have to tell a story, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, before you finally either get so frustrated and hang up or realize you're doing it right. One of the two is going to happen.
Hey, Shep, I want to segue into AI customer service because we've talked to you a lot about that. And I was wondering how much of a jump is it for small businesses or businesses that aren't in there yet? Is it a hard sell for them to say, I don't know if I trust that? Is it expensive? Is it hard to adapt into your business? Or are you promoting that right now? Or do you think that small businesses should go that route?
So there's 7 questions. Which one do you want me to answer first? I'll have AI answer it. Let's stick it all in the chat.
If I had a nickel, I will say, one of my favorite people in the world, but hey, so I can ask you a question. Go ahead, answer number 3.
I think there's only one there. Should small businesses adapt it?
Short answer is yes, and here's why. Number one, it's less expensive than it's ever been. Literally, for several $100s, you can get set up for a small monthly fee, and you're set up and you're worried about the wrong answers. You can program the computer to understand it can't go anywhere else to get answers but the answers that you give it. So if you've got an instruction manual, operations guide, just drop it in there as a file, and ChatGPT will go in there, or ChatGPT-like technologies will go in there and answer the question. And when the customer says, I don't understand, explain it to me like I'm in 6th grade, it'll come back and explain it exactly the same way, different sign of language, so that the customer can understand it. It'll do it in multiple languages. So all of a sudden, you got multilingual customer support. And I'm talking for hundreds, not tens of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars like it used to be 5, 10, 12 years ago.
Shep, I have a question. How much money are companies saving by not having live customer service? Because I'm the king of and of course now they're smart and say, start over again. I mean, are they losing that much money on having a, what do they call that?
Call center?
Yeah, call center.
Yeah. Let's call it a contact center, because the call center is not just about calls, it's chat, where they're typing back and forth. It's on social media where they're interacting. So really, it's a contact or a help center. So here's the thing. We surveyed with Capterra, which is a pretty big firm out of with Gartner, and we found that of the companies implementing AI for customer service and experience, 63% are still hiring more people. It's like a low number, around 20% or 22%, something like that. Don't quote me exactly, but it's close, are actually saying, yeah, we're reducing a few people here and there. Think about that. It's not replacing people. It's allowing the easy experience or the easy questions to get answered quickly with AI, and then the people step in and deal with more complicated, difficult questions, and they make customers happy. There is a balance.
I agree.
Companies want to send people to support AI self-service first, but they've got to have a good backup.
I like it when Costa's returning some Levi's moving on jeans back to Gap. He says, "I'd like to return these because they don't fit right." And the ChatGPT says, "Just how big are you?"
They were a 32 waist when I bought them.
Just how big are you? Shep, we'll see you next week.
Are you a circus elephant?
Can't wait.
What the hell? Is that your head or your neck blow bubble?